Now that's for
Now
the Amy.
that's
Hit the
Amy.
record button really quick. We make the pact.
We make the
90 schmil.
Yeah.
One of us wins the lottery.
Sure.
I'm not saying 50-50.
No.
But grease the guy.
Oh, you got to grease the guy.
You know, I'm thinking high percent.
Take it away from him. Under 4 left. The barn is alive again.
Yeah, it's a sports show. Got me in my hormones. All gas, no brakes. Score 4-0. If you think you own this place, you get foreclosed. I've been in my head, but it's not about a
Listen.
Then we
bottom
pod
line,
forever.
We're taking care. Whoever wins takes care of the other guy.
That's it.
That's it.
That's regular protocol.
That's right.
Speaking of taking care of the other guy.
Where you been?
You are listening to the Sports Show at Sports Show Podcast, Sports Show TV on the YouTube, on the Spotify, CJSW 90.9 FM, the third Tuesday of every month. You're listening to a forgotten voice.
Yeah.
Speaking of having each other's back, speaking of partners, I'm back with my partner. I missed it.
What's up, partner?
I missed it.
How was Tootsie's? How was it?
In which state?
Yeah, seriously. Hey,
Oh,
hey, how you doing? Hey.
Tennessee is fantastic.
Well, two things. Okay, a couple things I want to just get off my chest, if you don't mind.
My
A little rant
remarkable
session.
10.
Yeah, actually, you're pretty
See that
dark
color?
for. Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad.
Okay, doing the show solo, fun,
Right.
has its moments.
Yeah.
Stressful,
Right.
very stressful.
I could tell.
For those that follow us mainly on the YouTube, I apologize. We had some technical difficulties this week, mainly me, but / the. Apparently, every time I take the helm, something comes up, which I think Good Amy and Coralie can basically say that it wasn't my fault, but still, it just always feels like it's my fault because I'm at the helm those couple
Well, there's no
weeks.
one else to blame, right?
Yeah, but you guys saw it. It's not me. It wasn't me. It was the storage space of Google, not me.
I'm just saying that there was 4 weeks in a row where these problems didn't really happen.
The Google can't handle the coach. That's the real.
Right. So here's okay. So let's grade it. Okay.
Sure.
I mean, sure, I could talk about the numbers that the YouTube follows were higher when I was solo versus you. We could
Because you actually had YouTube up. That makes a lot of sense.
So but you know, there were 2 new followers.
Hey,
Hey.
I did it without even doing
That's
it.
what I'm saying. So, you know, if you prorate it,
Hey.
right? I had 4 weeks at 6. You
Right.
had 2 weeks at 2.
I win.
Well, you're
It's
still
a win.
You're 33%, 3-3
It's a
repeated.
win.
It's a win.
It's a
win
win.
for us. Here's what I noticed.
Yeah.
Actually, I liked your show better.
Right.
I think you're better solo for the style.
You heard it here first.
Hold on. Hey. It's crazy. I'm gonna look back on this
Yeah, you
episode
are.
and be like, you know what? Don't drink in the morning, Dimitri.
hey.
Why are you being so nice?
Yeah, what's going on?
You know,
What happened?
Last I checked,
Tootsie's is cooler than I thought.
we got Joey Fatone and Justin Timberlake, and I'm about to give him the solo album.
Hey,
no,
whoa.
listen. I think your solo show was better than mine. I think the way because you had better and because you rapid bantered
Right.
the whole way through and you were funner with it.
Hey.
I perspective pieced it.
You perspective piece. Listen,
Right?
your pods, if I may now say on your behalf,
Sure.
much more professional, beautifully done, and people joined. They were like, I gotta get in on it. Mine, yeah, okay. Here's the thing. 2 years in a row, the dates that we've just basically chosen to go on vacation have been just last year where I should have had nothing. The whole story breaks with Goudreau and all that stuff, so I got lucky there. And then this year, you kind of just have to pick and choose. And then I did the thing that everyone does, which was the list last week. And the week before that, I did some other stuff. So I broke protocol.
So
protocol.
what I've come to realize is that you're a better agenda guy.
Well, that's what I do.
Because that's what you do.
That's my thing, yeah.
I'm a better technology, social media, when we're together, energy guy.
And together, we're the
And
greatest.
this is what I realize is the show is good.
Right.
But when we're together, it's great. And you
fantastic.
see, it's funny, right? Because you can see, this is where a true partnership happens. You can see what one person does over the other.
Right. True. Good point.
Right? Like
100%.
Like you could totally tell and be like, yeah, okay, Dimitri is good. Like the topics were good. But there's, it was, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to actually piece, okay, what are you going to talk about? Where are you going to take it?
That's right.
Right? And then doing video and editing a podcast.
I see why people do this full time. When we first started, I was like, okay, we just gotta give each other a couple hours, do this, do that. No, guys, I'll be honest. The podcast game, the YouTube game, it is a full-time gig.
Full-time.
It's not cleaning, plates at the restaurant and making pizzas and all that, putting cement. I agree. It's not that. But it is a full-time job. It is. And it's harder than it looks. We'll be the first one to say it.
I think we did great. I think solo's great. Yeah, it just so happened both last year, June, July, this time, June, July. I want to remind you all, roster,
tell them,
that we have this show. You got scared for the video.
I always get nervous because
me too.
Press and I don't.
But I want to remind you, roster. Remember one thing: we are doing this show.
Mm-hmm.
We're tailing off until the August long weekend show. However, it wraps up.
Yeah,
we'll always do the CJSW show because it's just a 1 month commitment, and we'll do it. But
they love us.
Remember, end of July, coming next couple weeks here. We're taking a break for August.
Hey.
Catch up on your episodes. Get your follows.
Your homework.
Do us a favor in the off season. That's what we call it. It's the sports show off season.
A stretch.
Tell a friend. Get some follows. It really help us out. And we have. You alluded to it. Maybe I'm not going to overly touch on it with the Mike McGuire and everything going on there. But we have every year we say we're going to start September with some really cool stuff. Roster, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
We got some really, really cool stuff in store for you. So you want to be prepared.
That idea that I threw at you yesterday. Is that one you're talking about?
Part.
Oh,
that's another one.
That's another one.
You don't give
That one's big.
Whoa.
Don't say anything on that one. Because that one I think is going to take us to that next level. All right, listen.
All of you that follow me on social media, I can cook a ribeye.
Hey.
I can do
Are you in my notes again?
I can do
Are you in my notes?
I can do a bone-in.
Listen, here we go. My boy's back. Let's get into it because somebody was a little late, but we won't talk about it. Hey, Tootsies is a real thing. Let's do it. Change. That's been the thing over the last, let's call it month and a half. A lot of change. You're off, I'm on, you're off, whatever. How about Messi yesterday? Let's talk a little bit about Lionel Messi making his Inter Miami debut, taking on, in the league championship games, they're taking on Cruz Azul. 94th minutes, tied at 1. And Messi does what Messi does. Puts it in the corner, finishes it off. Miami goes on, wins that leg of it. I have to admit, seeing him in pink, a little different. It's a little different for me.
Right.
But I like it. I liked it. Thoughts on the Messi yesterday real quick?
I mean, how else do you want to start?
Isn't that the truth?
Right? Like how else do you want to say? Sometimes in sports, you can't help it.
Yeah.
The story just writes, you cannot help it.
I agree.
Comes in, opening game winner, 94th minute. I mean, come on. He's just destined to do great things there.
I don't know if you saw the highlights. They panned into the crowd. He could retire right after that game as Inter Milan greatest player of all time, and they would have been happy. 1 goal, 1 shot. He goes into the rafters.
Done.
Everyone's happy.
Yeah,
everyone's happy.
Hey, Kawhi, he's going to Kawhi Leonard his way.
I think you're right.
Inter Miami.
I think you're right, man. I think you're right. Yeah. Staying on the soccer thing because it's a big thing right now. The Women's World Cup just started in New Zealand. Here's the thing with New Zealand, real quick, if you don't mind. 17-hour leg, right? Right now, I did it right before you walked in. It's already 3 a.m. In New Zealand. I just think it's hilarious. They've already had their Saturday, and they're about to have breakfast. Listen, and here we are, just Saturday morning.
Listen, I have 2 things to say about this.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
I have 2 solid. Number 1, Women's World Cup. I got to give you a credit here. The referees. So I'm watching a bit of U.S. Vietnam.
Yeah, I watched that yesterday.
Did you? Yeah, I had a feel. Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Just a bit.
Just a bit. Yeah. Ooh, can we just talk about the goalie for Vietnam? Whoa.
Are you, buddy? Are you in my brain?
I want.
Are you? Let's no joke now.
Dude. I don't know what's going on over there.
What the hell?
I'm not here.
I wasn't even going to say
anything.
Listen,
I'm not here to shame anyone, but at the same time, remember in the dodgeball listen. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at 3 things.
Google that.
Leave it at that.
Google
just leave it at that. Okay.
Google it.
That's not your mother. So number 1. Okay, that was the pre-log or whatever they go. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So number 1, they do the VAR.
Yeah.
And there was a penalty kick, right? So they had to do the VAR. But you know what I love? Yeah. I love that the referees, the female ref, she's wearing a headset.
Yeah.
And when they came out, she goes, after review, it's a penalty kick. And you can hear it echoing NFL style.
Yeah.
Hey, Hey,
Yeah.
get that into soccer. That extra level of fan engagement
Sure.
and to know what's going on just adds to the game. So that's number one. Number two, ladies, you know I love you. You know I'm all for the equality and equal pay and everywhere I want to be. That's great.
I'm sensing a but.
But you got to have the numbers.
True.
Okay?
I agree with
Listen,
you there. 100%.
you
100%.
have to have numbers.
Yes, agreed.
You have to have revenue. You have to have people watching. You have to have all this. If you're doing a World Cup in New Zealand, why disadvantage yourself to put games on that are not on total prime time in your prime time markets where you're going to get the best and most amount of money? Fork it up a little bit. Put this thing in I don't care if it's in the U.S. every year, on the year, every year.
True.
Get it somewhere where you can promote your game better. If you're fighting for that equal pay, if you're fighting for the revenue split, if you're fighting for the sponsors, put yourself in the best position.
Yeah.
Number one, I had no idea it was starting, part because I just got off Wimbledon and I came from holidays. Number two, I'm like, oh, I guess this thing's on. Okay? I mean, someone's got to start doing some more strategic thinking here to help you toward your goal.
I agree. I think New Zealand right now, the Prime Minister of New Zealand is probably going, how dare you guys? Well, here, the truth is, my counterpart's absolutely correct. Listen, you guys have a great sport. I'll be honest. You know what I liked about watching women's soccer yesterday?
The goalie?
It's all like offense, right? Like, no offense.
Yes.
Like when one team dominates the other, they're in their side of the field the whole time.
No middle ground.
There's no middle ground, right?
Yeah.
They try to clear like in hockey. Like Vietnam was like just launching the ball the other way to get it out of their
Vietnamese
zone.
are like, off the boards! Off the boards!
But to your point, yeah, until that sport grows, go to those countries. Like to do it in New Zealand, are you literally going to pick up and buy a ticket and head all the way over there? Or go somewhere in Europe, go somewhere in North America, or even South America, a little more accessible, more people, where people accidentally go there.
Mitch,
you know what I mean?
Even in New Zealand, who the hell is going to...
This is what I'm saying.
Australia is next door.
Right. I agree, man.
Okay?
I agree.
They have a national World Cup presence.
Yes.
They're in the World Cup pretty much almost every year out of the Oceania.
Yeah.
So instead of, I don't know, playing in Melbourne and Sydney and Adelaide and instead of all these beautiful places and stadiums that they have in Australia and the population, not even the Australians are going to fly over to New Zealand.
I agree.
To go watch the World Cup next door. I'm sorry, this is a big miss.
Yeah,
and if ladies protest, keep protesting. I'm all with it. But here's the thing: you want to protest something? Protest your management.
Yeah.
Protest FIFA.
Yeah. Get mad at your teams. Yeah, like the managers, the owners. 100%. Yeah, I agree.
The World Cup, for example, the World Cup, the men's World Cup is going to be between Mexico, Mexico, U.S. and Canada.
Yes.
I'm sorry, ladies.
Yeah.
Why don't you play your World Cup after the men, before?
Yeah, right.
Kind of maybe in that year.
Do it at the same time.
In the same time. In the same catch the buzz. Or a year later Canada, Mexico, US for the FIFA Women's World Cup.
This is what I'm
saying. A home run.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Listen, let's call it North America and Canada. We're melting pots. We got a lot of your community here. They'll fill the stadiums themselves.
Yeah, we're a nice queso dip of cultures.
Thank you very much.
Nice slow melt.
Yes, we are. Okay, great segue. Let's talk about it. It's the number one topic. Last week, I told you guys, I have a DeLorean. I saw it from afar. Alcaraz taking on Novak. The number one Alcaraz taking on the number two, technically a ranking style, Novak Djokovic, at Wimbledon. I said it for the Tuesday show, but I knew on Sunday it was going to be an epic battle, and it was. Dimitri, did we witness the changing of the guard last week?
Yes and no. I don't think Djokovic is done. But what we did see is this guy Alcaraz, who's going to compete with him now, Mitch? He's, you had kind of that Zverev, Medvedev, Tsitsipas, these guys that are in contention. You're like, all right, maybe when the guys are gone, they might do something here. No, this guy Alcaraz is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He is the next guy. I just don't see a point where if he plays like that and just gets better, who is going to come up to challenge him?
Dude, so last week, I said it on the pod here, I watched him play Medvedev, and it was 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. I don't know where Medvedev got those 3 points. I literally saw this kid, who I've never heard of before, I'll be quite honest, and I only got into tennis because of this guy and his family, the Serbs all like, the community attacking the show, saying, we got to talk more tennis, and I'm happy to do so. So I'm watching the game, and I'm like, this kid is unreal. Right? And he's ranked number 1, so obviously he's better than I don't know this guy. He takes on Djokovic, all right? Mm-hmm. First game, Djokovic smashes his face.
Smashes
6-1.
him. Say, hey, what do
I'm
you...
like, all right.
You want to be here?
Yeah, you want to be here? You want to play with me? Then 7-6. Then 6-1 for Alcaraz.
With in the third set with that 25-minute break point.
What that showed me, and this is why I hate, as much as I love Novak, and I do think he is the GOAT out of the 3 guys, right? If I had to rank them right now, it's Novak number 1, Federer 2, Nadal 3. Because Nadal only wins at the French Open.
Yeah,
Outside of that,
that's how I see it.
That's how I would see it. But this kid, 2 things I saw. Number 1, he got smashed in the mouth, but he got up and smashed him back. And then, secondly, he didn't let Novak get in his head. Where it was the other way, it looked like Novak let this kid get in his head.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. That's why I do believe. Do I think Novak's going to win another major? Absolutely I do. But I think we are now witnessing the new guy in charge. Hey, Tsitsipas, that is fortitude. That's killer instinct.
Yes.
Hey, rest of the tennis world, I pick on Tsitsipas because I think Tsitsipas is right there. But he doesn't have what that Alcaraz kid is.
You know, agreed. And I think what happened on this one is, see, a lot of Djokovic fans, and myself included, you look and say, man, you made a lot of mistakes that you shouldn't be making.
Right.
And it happened. But what you can't do is say, well, Djokovic beat himself, otherwise he would have won. Listen, the guy's so great that he could have won. It went to the 5th set.
Yeah.
The turning point was he missed a gimme lob that he would have taken Alcaraz's serve, and then he would have been serving, could have been up 3-1, and we would have been staring at a 25-time champion, Grand Slam champion here. 5th Wimbledon in a row.
Right.
Like crazy statistics. So that really killed it. But the thing is I don't think Djokovic has ever played against a guy who runs across the court and also makes pinpoint shots with crazy athleticism. He's basically facing himself 15 years ago.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought,
too. That is what we're watching.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and he goes, oh my, he's hitting across. He goes, oh my God, how did he make it there?
Yeah.
Oh my God, how did he make it there? I make it there. I'm that guy.
I'll be the first one to say, Dimitri, when I watch sports lately, it's the commentators pick a guy, right? And they just want to slobber all over the guy, right? This is the one where I have to admit, I get it now. Other times I'm like, you guys are overdoing it. Like, relax, she's hot. She's not that hot. This one, Alcaraz, man, he was making those shots. And when Novak's looking, I'm going, what the F is going on here? Yeah, you have to take it serious. You got to take it seriously. Yeah. And shout out to everyone. Now, because I'm on this kick right now, I went to Netflix. They got, I think it's called not Full Swing. That's the golf one. There's another one for tennis right now, like a docuseries where they actually fall. Very first episode, they're following Nick Kyrgios, okay? Just by chance. That's probably the only guy right now that I think could take this guy on one-on-one.
Yeah, agreed.
If he would just work out a little bit. And man, that dude can snap on a second.
That's as Greek as you get.
That's as Greek as you get, man. But physically, I'm just looking at both of them and thinking, and their serves. So when Alcaraz was serving, I was looking at his like 127 miles per hour. So I converted. That's over 200 kilometers an hour.
I know.
Okay. After watching that and watching what these guys do, running back and forth, hot take. Tennis is the hardest sport to master. There is no fooling around with tennis players.
That's a great debate that we should have.
Anytime you want.
Yeah.
You cannot just automatically be good in tennis. No. I would say hockey and tennis are now one-on-one.
Oh, you know what? Okay.
Let's have that debate.
Okay, let's do it
now?
Let's do it now.
Let's do it now. Hey, we're late coming. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Hey. Really quick.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just poke and prod it, and then we'll go after it. I think the hardest sport
Yeah.
is always boxing or MMA.
Okay.
Because in order to stay number one
Right.
and physically go through that endurance while eating punches and kicks to the face,
Sure.
I'm sorry, that to me is the hardest.
Okay.
Like to be a Floyd Mayweather,
Sure.
to be a Muhammad Ali,
Okay.
and like stay at the top.
Yeah.
Man, that's hard while you're eating them. Number two,
I agree, yeah.
Because
I agree
the
with
reason
you.
I want to bring
Yeah,
it up
yeah,
is because
yeah.
we were talking about this just recently.
Oh, okay.
I was watching golf
Mm-hmm.
and playing.
No.
Hold on.
Yeah.
In the history of golf,
Right.
with all the revolving players,
Yeah.
Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus,
Sure,
and
sure.
everyone, name me a time someone has gone on the course and has perfected 18 holes and getting a birdie on every single hole.
Okay.
It's never happened.
I agree, but that to me,
Think how crazy
but-
hard that game is.
the game
The game.
is super hard. The players that can play golf at any range, I'm sorry, no, anybody can play golf. I'm sorry. There's 2-year-olds hitting the ball at your local golf course right now. 3-year-olds.
But I'm saying the game is so hard that
game
it can't
will
be.
always be. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a Rubik's cube. It's going to be very difficult to ever master it, if ever. Right? You're absolutely correct. And maybe the Rubik's cube is a bad analogy.
Yeah, there's
but-
an algorithm
Yeah,
there.
there is an algorithm there.
Yeah.
But you're right. Golf is it'll never be a perfect game. But I'm talking about the actual playing of the game.
Okay.
MMA, I agree. I never thought of that. Boxing, you're right. As I was saying it, and I said tennis, then I was thinking about hockey. Hockey actually is the hardest one.
It is the hardest sport
because you
to
got to
master.
put skates on your feet, master how to skate, and in certain ways, you can't just like glide around. You got to do stuff. Then you got to stick handle. Then you got to keep your head up. So there's hockey. 100% is the hardest sport, but man, tennis is right there.
Yeah, because you got to remember with hockey,
Yeah.
you have to learn how to move again.
Yeah.
You have to, and then in order to score and play the game, you have to learn to use apparatus.
Agreed.
And it's the only sport that needs both.
Right.
Right? Like think like in tennis,
Right.
you already know how to walk and run.
True.
You just need to be
Yeah.
athletic and master
That's
the
a good point.
apparatus.
Yeah.
In soccer, I mean, okay, the apparatus is the ball, but you're using your foot to do it. So
That's right.
That's why hockey is the hardest. But I'll say this for tennis.
And you fight in hockey.
And you fight.
And there it is.
There it is. It's
So
the
it
pound for
wins.
pound.
It's the
kick.
pound
It's the
for
pound
pound for
kick.
best, yeah.
Here's the thing that I admire about tennis. Think about what it takes to be number one.
Yeah.
There is no mono a mono.
Right.
Right? Like meaning in order to be number one, let's go play a game, Mitch, you and I,
Yeah.
and let's get after it. No. Every single attempt
Yeah.
to rank is a freaking 5-6 round tournament.
I know.
Like you have to
It's tough.
tournament your way
Yeah. And that's another thing with
to be
tennis.
number one.
To be number one means you're also the best at your sport. You're getting paid like you have to earn it. Not a hockey player, unfortunately, where you get your contract and then you can just sit and drift away and still get paid. Golf and tennis, you don't make your tournament like certain matches and stuff. You don't get paid. It's just that simple. Ah, damn it, man! I see.
Bring it back. We gotta have.
Yeah,
we gotta have.
We're gonna have.
You
a
know what?
debate
We
about
should
this.
have. We should have some more people.
You know what? What a great
What
idea.
a great idea.
What a great idea. Now, speaking of that, okay, so you had the Novak and you had the Alcaraz. Now, what Alcaraz really showed me is that the new changing of the guard is happening, right? You got the Wembanyama coming in, slapping Britney Spears. You don't just come into a league and slap Britney Spears and not say, hey, I'm the best, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm on the fence with that kid. I don't think that kid's
I didn't like what I saw.
I don't like it either, man. I
didn't like
said
what
it
I
on the
saw.
pod. I don't think this kid's
Now
got what he's got.
I think he's trying to overachieve.
Yes.
I get it, but man, hey, I was in Tennessee on his debut there in the summer league.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Can we stop at the whole look at Kevin Durant's stats, look at LeBron James' stats? Can we stop this?
Yeah, it's
Let him earn his stripes a little bit. He looked terrible.
He did look
Dude,
bad.
you cannot dribble in between three guys. It's not you.
Yeah.
You're not doing it. If you can't do it at this level, dude, when you get into the NBA,
Yeah.
you're gonna get the crap kicked out of you.
He's going to have some games, Dimitri, where he'll score 20 points. He did. The next day, he scored like 27 points. Okay, you did it against the G Leaguers, okay?
Yeah, like come on.
You have to be doing that against the G Leaguers based on where they're putting you on this
Yeah.
pedestal, right?
Sorry.
So, yeah, I agree with you, man. I think he's going to. But then we're looking at McDavid. Look at McDavid. Hot, amazing, doing everything he's doing, scoring titles, everything. Connor Bedard's coming in. We're going to find out in the next little while. Mbappe. New generation. What I'm saying really quickly before we get into the next segue is that the new sports superstars, there are some huge. You've said this before. We are witnessing the best time in sports. We are seeing elite superstars coming, and there's more coming.
Yeah.
And Alcaraz is just another name on that docket, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I like about it is that there are people that are coming to change the guard. And you don't, because the worst thing is to get in those dog years of sports.
Yeah.
Where really you don't have much. And then that's where people get over glorified. And then they get too much, right? Like if we go back to tennis, like for me, it was like Andy Roddick.
Yeah.
Like because he was American and he just kind of happened to be there. It's like, guys, he's not that good.
No.
Like he'll never beat Roger Federer. And he never did.
Yeah.
Well, forgive me if you want to nitpick me on that, but you get what I'm saying, right? On the big leagues, like, ugh.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of guys. I mean, there's more flameouts than there are superstars, but the superstars that are appearing in all the different sports right now, even in golf, it's unreal.
Speaking of crazy shows on Netflix, have you been watching that quarterback series?
Yes, I have. I like it, and I'll tell you why. Because you know what? Sometimes you don't you assume a personality.
Make the admission.
Kirk Cousins.
Okay,
Kirk Cousins is the biggest nerd I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I got a little respect for him because he's more technical than I ever thought. Like,
and tougher
than I thought. But did you see that hidden room he has with all his? Come on now, cool room, nerdy attire in the thing. He's got a mannequin of himself in the gear, man.
It's kind of what I respected about him. Really quick.
Yeah.
Mariota. Like,
yeah.
you couldn't, like, come on.
I know what you're saying.
We couldn't find anyone else.
Hey,
come on.
What?
Come on. Come on.
Hey, Vietnam's got a nice goal. Okay. From there.
Rough.
From there. I wanted to bring this up. So, you know me. I'm a peruser. I'm looking at the nets and everything. And I saw something. I want to ask you a question. Okay, we're on to hockey for a quick minute.
Sure.
Okay? So this year, the Las Vegas Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup. The couple years before that, it's the three-time Stanley Cup appearing team of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I'm looking at both their rosters, and then I'm looking at rosters before and after, and I saw something. So I saw you cooking that beautiful tomahawk steak down in Tennessee.
$41.
Exactly.
Dude, it was $41.
Beautiful. Right?
It's begging me.
It's begging you to take it. And what did you do with it? You took it. You cooked. That wasn't the first time you've cooked it, is what I'm getting at. You know how to cook. You perfected your cooking, right?
That's
right. And
right.
now with the witnesses on hand, you're taking it to the next level. So I'm looking at the NHL rosters, and what I can't seem to understand is, to me, the ingredients are right there. Why are the GMs not taking advantage of what I'm seeing? Because I think I feel like I've cracked the code, the Da Vinci Code of hockey.
Yeah,
all right.
I feel like you have.
I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'll answer my own question. All right. What do you think is the special ingredient to winning a Stanley Cup? Because this is what I feel I figured out.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna stick with what I've maintained for a long time.
Please.
You need in today's NHL.
Yes.
A revolving door.
Yes.
Of 4 skilled lines. Okay. You need the center position. I always say, do you want to know? Do you want to know when I pick my Stanley Cup favorite?
Go ahead. When?
I look at the third line.
The third line.
Right? Listen, any team can have line 1 and 2, and you're going to match up whatever. You got to look at the third line. Who's on the third line? Who's your third line center?
Who's the guy?
Who are their wingers?
Exactly.
How deep is that team? Because after that, if you have a solid enough defense and a pretty good goalie,
right,
you can win the Stanley Cup. And so I maintain this. I go, like, to me, just look where it is, right? And look where people put their money. I say Chris Osgood is in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Multiple Stanley Cup winner.
Great.
Antti Niemi with the Chicago Blackhawks is a Stanley Cup winner.
Correct.
Crawford, Stanley Cup winner.
Yes.
Marc-Andre Fleury, Stanley Cup winner. So let's just look at this string.
Aiden Hill, Stanley Cup.
Aiden Hill, Stanley Cup winner. Like, let's look at this string of goaltending.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
And let's look at the price point.
Right.
So I never saw Carey Price win a Stanley Cup. I never saw Bobrovsky close it out. No. So what does that mean? Steve Yzerman, you guys just sit with him for an hour. Like, that's all you got to do. The guy cracked the code. You pay $5 to $7 mil maybe for a goaltender. You got to have some depth. You got to have a good enough D. Like high ticket guys are fine.
Yeah.
If you have a high ticket team, you just need 4 lines that constantly go. It's
That's
like
right.
the Spartans. Front line, roll back. Front line, roll back. Front line, roll
That's
back.
right.
Who can look at the Colorado Avalanche?
Exactly.
Who was their goaltender for crying out loud? Come on, you
Exactly.
guys.
They even doubled it up. Yeah. they didn't
Grubauer,
even-
Stanley Cup champ.
Exactly. But that's
Grubauer.
exactly. So that's why I get a little flustered, because I'm sitting here. We do this podcast now 7 years in, and you start looking at things. You're hearing these names, and like I looked at the Vegas Knights, and you got the Barbashev, right? Like that guy just got paid decent money, but everybody loved the way he was playing, right? Same thing with Colasar. Same thing with Nicholas Raw, Marchessault, who ended up being the MVP. Carlson, one of the misfits, as they call him, right? Then I went back and I looked at Tampa Bay when they went on that run. Sorelli, Yanni Gord, McDonough, Coleman, who's here in Calgary now, and Colton. Without these guys,
Yeah, man.
they don't win the Stanley. You can have your Stamkos, you can have your Hedman, you can have your Peter Angelo, you can have your Eichel, but those guys aren't superstars without these guys making them superstars.
And you want to know who's starting to pick it up and what I liked in the offseason? It's you, New York Rangers.
Yes.
Oh, I like what you did. Get me a little Blake Wheeler.
As much as I admitted, Dimitri, even Toronto, I think by picking up those 4 guys, I said it on the pod before, man. They're not like superstars, but they're the grimers. That Ryan Reeves guy, I'm telling you, he's no like playmaker guy. He's gonna set the stage. He's gonna set the stage. Don't F around with my superstars or my grimers. Domi, that's the perfect blend. You got like 4 lines of Domi that can shoot, fight, and piss you off. What else do you need?
Yeah, man. I agree, Mitch. I agree.
That's it. So I was just looking at it and I'm like, how is this not like something that every GM just absolutely goes after?
Right, but
year?
but here's the other side. And this is only where I'll concede. If you're a team that is suffering financially,
sure,
and you're not in a big market, unfortunately, that's where the business of sports has killed it, because now you say, well, do I just build a good team or do I try to sell some jerseys, get some revenue deals, get some package? So there's that pressure too, right?
Quick hit. Michael Backlund, does he stay with Calgary or go?
Go.
Oh, that was quick. All right, off to the NFL. Dimitri, you beautifully said it a minute ago. You're like goalies, like, look, Carey Price, he was $10 million. He was hitting the salary cap, and, obviously no Stanley Cups, nothing. In the NFL, there's a big controversy that has just came out, and we got to talk about it because it's literally, I could see a strike forming. And I say it jokingly, but you might actually see it on the field. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this. The New York Giants had the opportunity to sign long-term Saquon Barkley. Everyone knows Saquon. When he first came into the league, he tore it up. Then he got hurt, and he hasn't been as effective, but still effective. The Giants make the playoffs for the first time in a while. They picked up a quarterback named Daniel Jones a couple years ago, and over the last 5 years, people are like, I don't know. They ended up paying him. They gave him the long-term. So when Saquon came up, he goes, if they gave Daniel the money, they're for sure going to give me the money. They franchise tagged him. What does that mean? This year, he's going to get right now, $10 million. That's it. That's how much a franchise tag is worth for an NFL running back. The lowest paid in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receivers, if you have to get franchise tagged, 19.7. Quarterbacks, if you got to get franchise tagged, 32.4 million. Linebackers, 20. And the running backs getting a mere 10. My question to you, Dimitri, is the NFL right in regards to not paying their running backs, or is the running back getting the crappy end of the stick?
Wow.
Yeah.
Good question. Good question.
It's a hot question.
So I think the quarterback is justified.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that I say that is because the quarterback on the offensive side of the ball is actually there and present and for every play.
Or every play.
Yeah. Okay?
They touch the ball every
they're
play.
just and it's the only position that actually revolves, or you know what, in that quarterback show, I got to steal it from Peyton Manning. He said it the best. He goes, you have to know your plays, you have to know the other team's plays, you have to know your own team's positions, play. Like, you're doing a lot to say, okay, I get it. Here's the thing. With the running back and with the wide receiver, like those franchise tag numbers, the tough part for me is I can get it, but the running back will always go through more danger and has a shorter shelf life.
True.
So I'd like to see maybe some compensation to say, listen, if you're going to get franchise now we're talking, if you're going to get franchised, you got to up the bounty a little bit.
Sure.
That's how
hazard pay, if you will.
No, honestly, hazard pay.
You're right.
So, but then that argument that I have also goes against me. Because you could have Saquon Barkley get franchised at $20 million, 4 games, out for the season, maybe out for the career. I think the average, what's the average? Not even 5 years at average?
3.5 years.
For a running back?
Oh, for a running back, it's actually a little less, they say.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not a big... I mean, fantasy is a little bit different, but I'm not a big believer of stacking up your running back. And I don't think the NFL is in that position to want to. Yeah, they'd like to see a superstar.
Yeah,
but very rarely is there a Sanders that emerges. Is there a Peterson that emerges? Is there an Emmitt Smith? Like very rarely now are we getting these guys. It's running back by committee.
Yeah,
and
I think you're hitting a lot ahead. I think you're right on a couple of fronts. I think it's just the way the game is now. It's a more pass friendly league, right? It's more passing. So your wide receiver and your quarterback automatically are more important. But if there's one thing I know, it's this, is that the running back position, so if you are a team, you're going into week 1, and it's Green Bay versus Minnesota, and you know that Minnesota's got no running game, then what are you going to do? You're going to stack it up on the wide receivers. The running game is, I think, one of the most important things you need, especially on offense, because it makes the other team honest. If you can run the ball down their throat, then you are doing 2 things. Obviously, you're gaining yardage, but you're eating the clock. How many times have I said it on this pod? The heater and eating the clock are the 2 most important things in sports. I think the running back position has, to your point, it has become a who's the best at the moment and just plug and play. That's a little bit of the problem, is that the offense, like the way the offense is geared now, they're just not giving the ball to the running backs as much. And the problem is we don't think they're as important. I think they're vitally important. Any team that right now, like you look at Derrick Henry, who's probably the best running back in the league. Okay?
Sure. Yeah, I think you give it to him.
The problem is everyone knows Tennessee has a crappy pass game. So they're like, okay, we're going to stack the box. So even though they're stacking the box, the guy's still winning games and almost making the playoffs for his team by himself, right? All of a sudden, they sign Hopkins this week. Maybe that changes the Tennessee offense a little bit, because now you're like, well, I got to watch this Malaka, and I can't let that guy run down the field on me. It balances out. So I do believe, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of with the running backs on this one. They deserve a little bit more love, because for years, the running back position was that coveted position, and then somehow it fell off the cliff. But I don't see how you can have a functional offensive team without a good, capable running back.
Yeah, great points. I think, I don't know what to say, Mitch. I mean, you're swaying me on each one. I think they deserve a little more love as well. But you know what it comes down to? The quarterback can definitely help make the receiver.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And the receiver's got to catch the ball to help make the quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay? But the people that need the love is the O-line.
100%.
Because the O-line gives the pocket for the running back.
Dude, I've been saying it for years. The trenches are the most important positions.
Like those guys are, if
D-line
anything,
and O-line, both sides.
But both sides. But we're just talking on the offense, because these are offensive positions.
Correct.
They're the ones that need the love.
I agree.
If there's ever hazard pay, who I feel the center is the most unappreciated position in all of sports.
I mean, you got a guy's hand on your ass all day.
The guy's petting you. Definitely definitely cupping a feel, right? Just trying to get the ball, unless he's in the shotgun, which is for his viewing pleasure.
Let's just say, right?
Then he's got to give the ball, and then he's got to block after.
Well.
And he's leading the charge.
And he's
like, you get in high formation. It's like, wait, I'm in the front?
Yeah, exactly.
So hold on. I got to give the ball to this guy. Then I got to go block. And you start with the advantage, and you're letting him run past?
Buddy, I couldn't agree more. When you're a center, and I played center when I was in high school. The difference is I never had to do shotgun, because that came years later. Any center now, I would say like 85 to 90% of plays all across the NFL in offense is in shotgun formation. meaning every center has to be able to get that ball back there. And we as the fans take it very likely. Like we're like, well, of course he's going to get it back there. Do you know how hard it is to just hike the ball backwards?
Dude, do you know how hard how about on a field goal or a punt?
Yeah.
With that level of accuracy through the legs? Are you kidding me?
So those guys all are special positions, right? Like they are on the team for that reason
they
and
have
that
to
reason
be.
only.
They have to be. We've all tried it. Let's be honest. Trying to hike the ball. You're like, whew.
It's a position that is probably, and this is again, we take it lightly. We're like, when the guy skies it over his head, right? And you're like, wow, what a loser. Yeah, 1 out of 100. If me or you are doing it, we're doing it 100 out of 100.
But all I'm telling you is they got this rotation, a foot off the ground. The guy on the play, so he's catching it, putting a finger on so the guy can kick it. You're telling that's not easy.
That's not normal.
You know what? The center should get a $10 million franchise tag. Dad, if I was a center, and you know, all you centers out there in the NFL, CFL, wherever you're playing, my opinion, just have a gentleman's agreement. I'd look you across the team and be like, listen, we get no love.
Yeah.
How about this? I don't rush you, you don't rush me.
Yeah.
Okay? How about this? Okay? We're good?
Hey, we're good? We're good?
Let's just take our chips and go home.
Let's go.
I'll hike the ball. We do it. I don't rush you. I won't.
Don't bother me. I don't bother you.
I'm not doing any secondary blocking. I won't. Let's just have a nice.
Just give me a nice little pass.
Gentleman's agreement.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's time for Rapid Banter. Here we go. You missed it for at least, dare I say, it's been like 6 weeks.
Hey, come on.
6 weeks.
Come on.
Here we go.
Okay.
Bret Hart was recently asked who in his mind is the GOAT of wrestling. His answer, Rey Mysterio Jr. Yes or no.
No. That is not an excellence of execution type answer.
Phillip Rivers, now recently retired NFL quarterback over the last 2 years, announces that he and his wife are having baby number 10. Is he trying to build his own NFL franchise?
I think he franchise tagged his wife.
Oh, he did. She's getting more than the running back. In Jerusalem, doctors successfully reattach someone's head to their body. Game changer, or rehab's going to be rough.
Well, that just killed the Highlander series.
It's like, well, just take him to Jerusalem. They're reattaching heads.
There can be only one Connor McLeod. Not if we fight in Jerusalem.
In their prime, who would you rather have? Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, or Brian Dawson?
I still got to go with Polamalu. He's an Orthodox guy. I got to do it. Got to do it.
Cillian Murphy, he's an actor in the movie Oppenheimer. You might also know him from Peaky Fucking Blinders. Says he only ate 1 almond a day to prep for this movie. Yes or no?
Why?
1 almond a day.
Like why?
1. Who are you lying to?
Come on.
Who are you lying to? 1 a day.
Yeah, you eating 1 almond a day, but what were you doing to get the part?
Here in Calgary, Kipper is going to the rafters in the Saddle Dome, ladies and gentlemen. Fleury or Kipper?
I mean, really?
You know?
We didn't even win.
Don't you find it ironic that me and you over the last couple of weeks have been like kind of torturing the Flames management, and then all of a sudden a Kipper retirement party comes a flying? I'm just saying. Who are those two new subscribers? Who are you? Who are you?
I'm just wondering. Really?
Yeah.
What? Like, did he really even do anything outside of 1 year?
Well, he won the Vezina. I'm just saying. Come on. Last one, and here it is. Phil Kessel, probably the GOAT of all time for everything, especially here on the Sports Show, has already had the day with the cup. And guess where he went? Toronto. Killer move or petty move?
The best move.
So true.
Oh, yes.
He's done it again. You hot dog eating son of a bitch. You did it again.
God, I love Phil Kessel.
I love him too.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're off to MAGA MALAKA. At the very beginning of the episode, we talked about Messi because he's a superstar on a new team. So let's go through it. It's MAGA MALAKA, superstars that have gone to new teams. Here we go. Messi to Miami. MAGA or MALAKA?
Yeah, MAGA.
Brady when he went to Tampa Bay. MAGA or MALAKA?
MAGA. You know why? Because that was just to show his greatness. What a strategic move.
Yes, agreed. Had he not won, I might say MALAKA. But because he won, it's a MAGA.
It is.
Automatically. Gretzky to LA.
MAGA, because it was good. It was good for the NHL. It was good for the franchise, and they made a cup final.
truth be told, I told you guys before on a later previous podcast, he was actually destined for Detroit. And then his dad's like, come on, that's Gordy's place. Go down to L.A. Try something new.
You know what? Smart.
Hey, where else? Jordan to the Washington Wizards.
MALAKA.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
It was. Let's just call it what it was.
Yeah, that was.
You got to hand it to Chicago going, listen, we're a little full here.
Yeah, and I get it. I'm sure that was part of the deal to get into the franchise.
How about this one? And I always forget about Joe Montana to the Chiefs.
See, MALAKA, because just ride the sunset with the team, man. You're in the era to do it.
Yep.
No one remembers that.
I didn't know this one. Bob Orr to the Blackhawks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I didn't know either.
There you go.
MALAKA.
That's how MALAKA was.
That's how MALAKA was. Now, here's another MALAKA. I'll just call it out. Rice to the Seahawks and the Raiders. Jerry Rice.
MALAKA.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem right.
Just, like,
as much as I hate San Fran, it just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I hate that kind of stuff.
But one thing. Did you see Seattle's new alternate jerseys?
Can we I love them.
I'm a new fan.
Hold on. Not only do I love the jersey.
Yeah.
Did you go to the website?
Yes.
Old school windows.
Hi.
I mean, Seattle.
Hey.
Just, you know what? Wow.
Couple more. So you may not know this name. He's a baseball player. Yogi Berra, back in the day, he is like, they call him Mr. Yankee. And he went to the Mets.
See, MALAKA.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
You don't do that.
Not in that era.
Just like this last one. Brett Favre, Packers to Minnesota. I know he went to the Jets first, but I don't care. It's the Minnesota one that bothered me.
Isn't it funny that Rodgers is, anyways?
It's ironic. It's ironic. I want to be my own man.
I would say Brett Favre going to I would say originally it was MALAKA, but MAGA, because we'll always remember you for leaving the Packers to go to the purple team. But you wanted to be brave and you wanted to throw your little cross seam pass because you're so good, Brett Favre, against what ended up being I believe the Saints won that year.
Oh, I believe they did.
And so that'll serve you right.
That's right. You know, I have to admit, when we get back, we got to talk NFL because I am a little intrigued about that AFC East when you got your Buffalo and the Jets and New England and Miami. That's going to be a hell of a division.
It's going to be crazy, but quick hit. Who takes the division?
Dude, I actually think the Jets might take it.
Me too. Yeah.
Come on, Belichick. Come on!
All right. But you know what else is going to be happening? You know what else is intriguing? You know what else we'll be talking about? Well, you got to talk about when you leave. Guess what that is? At Sports Show Podcast on the Instagram. The YouTube. It's heating up. It's on fire. Come on, help us, roster. Sports Show TV. Look for the blue and white logo. Subscribe to the channel. Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, CJSW 90.9 FM. Third Tuesday of every single month, playing 11:30 a.m., 8:30 p.m. Listen, this is episode, I think, 269. It's one for the books. We got to shove it in the locker because we got to hit the showers.
We're off. Real quick.
Yeah.
The Zuckerberg-Musk thing. Have you seen Zuckerberg, too, since we're talking about perusing the
buddy,
net?
guy's in better shape than I thought, eh?
Guy's ripped up.
Yeah, buddy, Musk is going to get eaten alive.
Buddy, they can't fight. I thought about it more and more. I know my stance on it was, like, I don't want to see them fight, and I don't. I really starting to believe I don't want to see them fight.
Speaking of fight, we got fight night next week.
What do we got?
Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
buddy,
yeah.
That's a big... We got to talk about it.
We got to talk about it.
Are you free next Saturday?
Are we doing the show? I thought you said we're not doing the show.
No, we're doing...
We're back on the show!
No, I said we're running the show until the end of July.
We're back on next week!
You know what I noticed, too?
What's that?
Because we're talking about it now in the shower.
Yeah.
Last week on the CJSW show, you had like a few
You ever
minutes...
had a coffee in the shower? Quick, I'm just curious.
Not while I'm showering,
Right.
but yeah, nearby, yeah.
I've had a beer in the shower.
Really?
That's actually quite the
I've had a coffee while I'm in the bathtub.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's different.
It's nice.
Right. Sure it is. Sorry, you were saying. I apologize.
The CJSW show, you had like 3 minutes. I noticed you did a 27... Why didn't you do any shower time?
I'll tell you.
We're just
We
nervous
talked
on...
I was nervous with
on
the
time.
editing.
Yeah.
I was nervous on the editing.
Right.
And I was also just... on the time. You told me it should be 28 minutes, so I was like, just.
Your talk time has to be 20.
Yeah, so that's why
I get it. I figured. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
I said it's Prime.
You know what? We've stolen so much from them. I feel like I'll give back a little.
Yeah, we're really greedy on the minutes, eh? Like, we'll send them an episode. It's 32 minutes long. Like, you can just say the people before or after us.
Yeah.
They'll cut us off when they need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week, and one last thing. Last week on the YouTube, I never got to show, but I was wearing my
Your
TNG,
Mob Squad.
My Mob Squad. Respect us to the Mob
So
Squad.
what happened with the video the 2 weeks? Why
Same
did
thing.
you?
The same thing. No storage or whatever. It
What,
says.
you didn't delete anything?
I deleted everything, buddy. I've deleted so many apps
So
on my
what
phone.
happened?
It's not my phone.
Yeah.
It's this Google.
So what happened on the...
We'll talk about it. South Carolina, Georgia, I'm going to need your help.
All right, Ross. We got to get going here. Make it, and you were worried I was late. Look at the time. We did a 50-minute show. Look how... We're doing great.
You know what? I don't want to talk about it.
Between this and them, now you about to witness. Well, freedom is so now I tell that girl get on my
GSW,
business.
we're saved by the
Same
bell by
Josh
the
on the
sports
ground
show,
like
playing
Eric
every week.
Boston.
Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Sports Show TV, at Sports Show Podcast. Amy, do it. At Sports Show Podcast.